What is up, everyone? Welcome to another viewer replay analysis. This replay was sent to me by Monsta. 8 Monsta? IIX Monsta? 8 Monsta? I don't know. Anyway, in his email he said, "Hi Trebis, I am a German gold Zerg player and I have a big problem in ZvP. I try to make the Stefano max out style, but I think my macro is not good enough. My biggest problems are the 6 to 7 gate, which always kills my third hatch, and 7 to 8 gate all-ins with Robo or Blink Stalkers, that kind of stuff." So we're going to be looking at this replay with those things in mind. And I'm going to have some specific things to work on in the later game and just some kind of just stuff to think about in the early and mid game. So kind of blaze through the beginning here. The one weird thing he does, let me back up real quick. This is weird and non-standard. I don't really know to say if it's bad or not, but what he does is when he gets his 300 minerals, he lays down a hatchery, cancels the hatchery, and then on the creep he builds an evolution chamber. So that's going to make it harder for the Protoss player to get a fast nexus. But it also is at the expense of all your scouting here, so you're not actually able to get in here and see anything going on. So I wouldn't recommend this, but who knows? Maybe a month from now we'll see every Protoss or every Zerg player on the planet doing that to Protosses. But the delay it makes, puts on your pool, I would say, is not worth it. The Protoss player here does a good job of blocking both hatcheries. So that's quite a bit of a gold commitment for him. A gold commitment. I've been playing too much Diablo 3. A mineral commitment. But he is able to get these Zerglings out, and we're going to deny this. Overall, I would say the beginning of this build is quite good. Making the 4 Zerglings, getting the hatchery down. The evolution chamber is taken down pretty quickly, and you at least get to see the front of this wall. Essentially what it did is it made him build this gateway instead of building the nexus. So there's that. So overall, I think the Protoss player was actually hurting himself with all these pylons. He didn't get a cancel on that. That was another 100 minerals lost here and another 100 minerals lost there. So that was a pretty substantial loss for him. So I'm going to keep continuing on. One thing I really liked seeing was all this activity with the Zerglings out. However, I would recommend getting Zerglings immediately on the watchtowers so you can start watching for other probes getting sent out. It's good to check for proxy pylons while they're there, but try to split up your lings. You really only need one to go spot that proxy pylon. So getting out, this is quite a good copy of the Stefano style. A little bit of a supply block here at 28, but that's taken care of with a bunch of drones pretty quickly. So moving on to the mid game here, the thing I'm going to focus on is the gas timing and just a couple macro mistakes that end up being quite harmful. So we've got a total of 4 queens out already. I think you could get away with having one less queen because I think with proper injects that you shouldn't have enough money to spend all of the larvae off of the 3 hatcheries right now anyway. So this is the time. Oh, also the other mistake I wanted to emphasize was this big rush of Zerglings that was made. I think, let's see, how many Zerglings are we at? 14 Zerglings. So that was 10 Zerglings made at a time that really, there wasn't really any reason for them whatsoever. So that's another 5 drones lost. With those extra 5 drones, we'd be at 29 drones. So that would be a better place to be. Also, the spending of larvae is not quite where it should be at this point. There's 11 larvae out, and that stuff really should already be getting turned into drones. And just drone. The other thing that I think, I believe the scout happens here, but it happens a little bit late. It's good to have this overlord lined up here. However, I think it should go in a little sooner. Around the 7.5 to 8 minute mark is a good timing to go in. That's when you'll start to see some tech buildings, and just take a path where you can see the 2 geysers here, and then try to head your way up to the natural. I suppose you could head this direction as well to see if there's any hidden tech, but I would prefer to go over here to see what is actually at their choke point. Other small scouting error that is made is not going in to check this forge, to check and see if anything is being researched on this forge, because this, if you're seeing +1 come out on the forge, that's a pretty strong indicator that there's going to be a timing attack coming out. So that's really important to go see as well. Lots of unused larvae there, sitting there for a second. That can be actually quite detrimental. Another supply block. So there's just some macro issues here with supply blocking and things like that, that if you work on those, then you should be in good shape. Okay, so here's where we're going to talk about gas timing. I think this gas is a little early. I think with looking at the mineral saturation of all the drones here, you want to stay as mineral heavy as you can for a while. And let's see, we have 6 drones, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You know, not a huge number of drones actually mining minerals right now. So to have this many mining on gas, I think is too many. Probably subtract one of these extractors and just go for 2 extractors. Also, when you're getting this gas, it's so important to spend it as soon as you get it. So this first 100 gas should already be going down on metabolic boost. In fact, that can be your timing to put down the evolution chamber and the roach warren. That can be something that you can just kind of couple into your head, and that doesn't happen here, and it's gonna end up hurting a bit, as well as the just not spending of larva faster. That's really something I would work on a lot, is spending that larva just faster. So we're going to fast forward here. The scout does happen, and it does nicely see all these gateways going down, so you can pretty much predict what's going to happen here. The scout kind of goes this way, and then it should go towards the natural just to see what's going on there. I guess this would be a decent place to spot for some tech, but I would prefer looking at the ramp, because usually they will have you know, at least a minimum number of units there that you can see kind of what they're going for. We did see the sentries attacking, so it's pretty safe to say that it's going to be some kind of tech-based rush as well, because usually you don't make sentries if you're going to go for a super fast gateway rush, like a 6 gate or something. Then it'll usually be zealots and stalkers with a smaller number of sentries, but with the higher number of sentries, then probably that means the attack is coming out slightly later. So not scouting the front here is a problem. What would we see if we scouted the front? Okay, so sending a Ling in here, we would scout the front. We could see the immortals. I think you could probably see this robotics facility, and you could definitely see the sentries. So if you could see the immortals, then that would let you know not to make what becomes the biggest mistake in this game, which is relying on roaches. This is a, how many gateways is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a 7 or 8 gateway, 7 gateway attack with a robotics facility and immortals. So it's an immortal sentry gateway attack, and with those immortals out, you just can't rely on roaches. You actually have to skew your composition quite a bit towards zerglings and spine crawlers, actually, to take care of this. The spine crawlers get taken down by the immortals pretty quickly, but they make the sentries, it makes the sentries' jobs a lot harder. The other thing to focus on is getting good surrounds with your zerglings. That's a big thing. This gas certainly doesn't need to go down. I think this gas should still not be down, and you should be making so many zerglings right now, just as many zerglings as possible. This is pretty killer right here, this making of 8 drones. Those should absolutely be zerglings. You saw all these gateways, so you certainly have to be preparing for a timing attack to come out. And in fact, with this zergling, you get to see exactly what's happening here. So he ends up making a lot of roaches, and just the simple fact is that with that many immortals in this composition, roaches are just not going to work. So we're going to watch the battle here, but it's just a unit composition, quite a problem, quite frankly. Actually, this Protoss player makes some really nice force fields here, I have to say. Sniping one of the immortals there. If If you are stuck with roaches, it's going to come down to how well you can snipe the immortals. Things like these roaches getting stuck and just moving around, if they could have taken just a couple volleys against the immortals, that would have helped so much. Not fighting with units unless there's a little more backup for them, running away more quickly. I would have sacked this base pretty much instantly. I wouldn't have tried to fight with my roaches at all. It's looking like there's some hotkeying problems with roaches coming into combat when they really shouldn't be. So gonna fast forward through this, but kind of just because of the choice of units, this game is pretty much over. The combination of force fields and immortals just absolutely hard counters roaches, so there's not much of a choice there. Zerglings would have been... You still need roaches to dish out some damage, but you need Zerglings in there to absorb a lot of damage as well. So there's the GG. So the Zerg... oh, I think there was a drop going on. Yeah, there was even drops in the main. So the choice to go for roaches was a big thing, but let me show you another big issue with this last attack that comes out here, and your ability to get out as many units as you need, which I already said they should have been gearing more towards Zerglings. Let's look at the larva injects. We're at 2 times right now. No larva injects. No larva injects. Keep in mind this is on 2 times speed. No larva injects. No larva injects. No larva injects. No larva injects. So this is something probably fundamental to Monsta's play that would be something that I would really concentrate on, because it'll help you in all situations, not just this situation, is to try to get your larva injects going even when you're in like a high pressure battle scenario, because those are really gonna be what wins you the battle. So too few Zerglings, not the right unit compositions against this style, and making roaches instead of Zerglings, and missing larva injects are the big things in this replay to work on. Okay, if you enjoyed this, please do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. It helps me out quite a bit. And if you would like to have your replay analyzed, send me a replay to sc2noobschool@gmail.com, and please give me a description of the game and kind of the problems that you have with it. It helps me out a ton. Thanks for watching, guys. GG.